Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to another tier list video. This is going to be the final one of Sword and Shield. Very exciting. This is the Galarian Gallery tier list. This is the subset that came out in Crown Zenith, which was our final set. I had to double check there wasn't any alt arts in Crown Zenith, and luckily there isn't. So we're all focused on the Galarian Gallery. If you don't like where I'm putting some of these, because some of these would be D and F and stuff like that, it's okay. It's fine. I'm rating them relative to each other, okay? So if you're like, but it's a really nice card, just because it's in D doesn't mean it's bad. Alright, let's get on with it. Okie dokie, so first of all is Hisuian Voltorb. Hisuian Voltorb is given very chill vibes. He's hanging out with some apricorns, I assume. It's just hanging out, having a good time. Cuddly little guy. There's nothing really bad to say about him. He's not exceptionally brilliant. It's nothing too stand out, but it's a nice little card. I think he can go straight into B as a benchmark card, for sure. Next up, we have Cricktoon. I'm enjoying the vibes on this one. We've got so many Pokemon in, and I'm going to be honest, I've not paid full attention to some of these cards. I've kind of been avoiding spoilers on them. There's Wooloo in there, love that. There's Bunnelby, there's a Snom, there's Shroomish. There's a lot to love about this card. Huge fan of it. I'm going to give this a straight up A tier. Next up, we have Magmortar, and I had to really double check them to make sure it was Magmortar and not Electivire. Just cozy, chill vibes. There's nothing to hate on this one. It's just a very comfy, warm. It's, you know, if you don't know already, Magmortar, Electivire, best buds, have been for life. Not sure how that relationship began, but here we are. Magmortar is lighting up the fire on a cold day for the Electivire. He's happy, he's chilling, he's having a great time. We're going to give this another B. Nothing too exceptional, but it's a nice looking card. Next up, we have Oricorio. I'm not a huge fan of this art style. I'm not sure if it's the artist that I'm not a big fan of just generally. I kind of like what's going on here. I like the colours. I like the fact the Oricorio stands out. Like, it could have quite easily got lost in the background there. I love the use of white outlines. Very nice. I have no art background, by the way. I just have strong opinions on things that I'm not smart about. But I'm liking it. I'm enjoying what's going on here. We're going to put Oricorio into C tier, though. Now for Lapras, again, pretty chill vibes. Nothing too exciting going on for me personally. It's just a very nice, friendly card. I'm enjoying the fact there's a Spheal on the back of a Lapras. Big fan of that, huge fan of that. Finian and Wishy-Washy hanging out. Pelipper and Wingull hanging out, which I'm sure Murdo is already saying this is an S tier card. But it's just a chill card. I'm going to give it another B. There's a lot of benchmark B cards in this, I think. Next up, Manaphy. Easily better than the, Manaphy we already have. That's not difficult. It's going to lose points because Bruxish is in there, and Bruxish is a just ugly-ass offensive Pokemon. No offense to fans of Bruxish, but here we are. And again, it's another one where the more you look, the more you see. I've always seen the Pyukumukus there, but I've also noticed there's like Wishy-Washy at the bottom, but also a big Wishy-Washy. You've got Maneri, I think it is, at the bottom there. So it's a nice card. I really like what's going on here. I'm going to give it an A. It's nice. I like it. Some of my personal biases are going to really be shown here. I'm just giving you that right now. Keldeo. Aurora Borealis, at this time of day, at this time of year, located directly in this card. It's a nice looking card, but it looks a bit, I don't know what it is about it. It's weird because I love the colours that are going on stuff. Keldeo just looks like he's been superimposed on a really nice artistic background though. So it's kind of like throwing the card off a little bit for me. So I think Keldeo is going to have to be a C tier on this one. Now for Magmortar's best mate, we've got Electivire. I'm not a huge fan of this card. Electivire, I don't know what Electivire is going for here, but Magmortar's like, whoa dude, calm down, she ain't worth it. I'm not really feeling this card, really. It's going to have to be a D for me. Talking about personal biases, next up is Toxtricity. I love what's going on here. The band is all together. It looks like the hottest album of 2023 is about to drop, and it's all thanks to Toxtricity. You got Rillaboom in the background there. You got Galarian Obstagoon. It's a great card. Really like it. We're gonna throw that into A. Next, Mew. This is the Celebrations Mew, which it's fine art. Nothing too special going on about it. I'm really liking what's going on here. It's like these Pokemon here have just never seen Mew ever, and I don't know if they're all welcoming them and concerned about them, or if this is about to turn into like happy tree friends and things are about to kick off. That Cramorant's looking particularly suspicious, but it's a nice, very nice card. I'm gonna put that into A. Next up is everybody's favorite basic deck Pokemon. It is Lunatone. Not sure what's happening to Lunatone here. It seems to have fallen into the ground. Or you've got Volbeat and Illuminize here, just like like burying it to try and grow more Lunatones. I'm not sure what's going on here, actually. It's a bit weird. The vibes are a bit off. But I like the inclusion of Illuminize and Volbeat. You know, not Pokemon that I've mentioned too often. Don't know that anyone particularly likes them, but you know, it's a fine enough card. I think we can put that into B. I think the next one is Deoxys. I've not particularly paid attention to this card before, and I'm noticing a lot of item cards going on with this. You've got an Urn of Vitality at the top there. You've got a Welcoming Lantern. You've got two of the different scrolls. You've got an Echoing Horn. You've got Cross Seavers. I don't fan of what is going on with this card. Like, there's a lot to unpack in this card, and I don't really understand. Like, could someone in the comments explain to me why this makes sense? I know it's weird to say, but like, I don't understand why Deoxys is falling with item cards. Is that a thing? Because it's confused me, it's gonna have to go into C tier. That's probably how that's how that'll roll. Hey, you confused me? I've no idea what's going on. Diancie. It's giving me, like, less impressive Galarian Moltres Alter Art vibes. It's fine, I just don't really see a lot of what's going on. The Pokemon's not really, even though it is in the middle and the main focus, the colour palette kind of, like, washes it out a little bit. Maybe it's nicer as a holo. You gotta bear in mind, like, these cards are holos, and I'm seeing them as, like, a flat image on the screen. But yeah, it's not hugely impressive to me. I'm gonna have to throw that into C, I think. Next up we have Comfey, everyone's favourite card that makes every turn for a Lost Box player take about 10 minutes. It's a nice card. I think it stands out relatively well on the background. It's just a bit like, I don't want to say monotone. That's not right. It's not monochrome either. Neither of these words make sense. It's a fine enough card. I like it more than the other version of it, but I don't think, again, it's anything too special, so I think we can safely throw that into B. Next up, Solrock. Again, Illuminize and Volbeat hanging out of it. I think I like this one a little bit more, but it's also crashed down to the ground. I've seen this one in real life, and the holo pattern does make it look a lot nicer. Again, I've mentioned this before, but like, some of the cards don't stand out, or some of the Pokemon don't stand out on the backgrounds of the cards, and part of that is because of the holo. Like, if you hit them in the right holo, the Pokemon does show really nicely. But as a flat image, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly serviceable. We'll give it a B. One of my favourite cards in this set, we've got Absol. It's not a hugely impressive card, so to speak. Like, I wish it was a nicer card. But that seems like needlessly reductive, honestly. It's a pretty enough card. It just doesn't give you the absolute wow factor that some of the others do to get into the A's and the S's. I think Absol is only really deserving of a B. Again, relative to the rest. Thievul is next, and I love this art style. I've seen it on a couple of the cards before. I don't know what it is about the black and the white and the orange. It just looks really cool altogether. It's a very unique art style. Thievul, I think, is gonna have to go straight into S tier. It is a really cool standout card, and I really enjoy it. Magnezone is next, and again, we've got another one that's a bit... The colours kind of like meld into the Magnezone and the Magnemites that are kicking about, but I like what's going on here, even though I don't fully understand what's going on here. Like, Magnezone is using its magnets to pick up these pyramid-shaped items, but what are the pyramid-shaped items for? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea what they're for. But it's a nice enough card. But it's got to be a B. Now we have Altaria. If you have ever watched any of our videos before, you'll know that my partner is a massive fan of this art styles. Maybe they're not the right phrase to say, but like the crocheted style. The crocheted style, as far as I'm aware, has never had a full like art style like this. This looks amazing. It's so cool. I absolutely love the crochet designs myself. They are very nice looking cards. For the crochet, for the diorama, I'm going to give this an S tier. Next up we have, I'm going to say Latias? Yeah, Latias, not Latios. Bit cumbersome. I don't know why Latias would risk flying through. I assume they're not going to be Spanish streets, are they? It's the Galarian Gallery. But, like, I don't know anyone in the UK that hangs out their laundry like this. This does seem like a European way of doing things. Anyway, Latias low-flying, gathering the clothing up, accidentally, I assume, because Latias seems very surprised that suddenly there's some flannel on their arm. It's a nice card. It's got good vibes, good art style. It's fine. It's a B. Next, we have Hisuian Goodra. I don't understand what entirely has happened here. I think Hisuian Goodra's fallen over. and potentially it can't get up. A couple of Starlies hanging out going, hey buddy, you okay? It's just a nice card. I'm going to pop that into B. One of the absolute stars of the Galarian Gallery next, the Ditto. What can you say about this card? It's so cool. I absolutely love it. It's just, even without the Ditto, just the Nummels like grazing on the grass is like really cute as it is. But just the Ditto with the dirt face is so good. It's so good. Straight up into S tier for the Ditto. Next, speaking of good cards, I think I've looked at this image, this card, Dunsparce. God, a fair few times, and I still am not 100% sure I know exactly how many Dunsparce are in this image. Like, I'm looking now and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, but then I know some people who will say there's 5, and I know one person who reckons they've counted 6. There's a lot of Dunsparce in this. It's a nice little image. It's just like a little chill Dunsparce having a good time. Relaxing. I'd like to meet the trainer who thought that many Dunsparces was a good idea. But either way, it's going into A. It's an A tier card. Now we have everyone's favourite card if you're a Pokemon V player. It's Miltank. Again, loving the vibes on this. We've got a whole picnic, a whole buffet arranged, which looks to be baked out of a lot of Miltank, Moo Moo milk, we should say. Really enjoyed it. Great vibes. Great art style. We're going to pop that into A. Now, again, I've said this a couple of times already. An absolute star of the show, Bebarrel. Again, I'm going to say this is a bit unfair, some of these, because I've got some of these cards in real life, or I've seen these cards in real life, and I can appreciate the hollows and stuff on them, whereas some of them I can't. I just love this. Like, it's the inside of what's going on in a Bibarel's dam. It's just cute. All the biddies are cute. The art style is amazing. We're going to have to throw that into S. Absolutely throw that into S. Okay, so the next set of cards, they all appear in a big image together in 9. They all look the same other than what Pokemon are being represented. So I'm going to rank them as all like one art style, because they are all the same card basically. All the same artists as well, as far as I'm aware. Yes, they are. As a collective art style, I think it's a beautiful image. I think it looks really good, and hopefully I've been smart enough to put that on stream so you all can see it. But again, other than it being a big art series that you put together and look really nice, I don't think there's anything too special about it. Like, I don't want to give it bonus points just because you can arrange it all together and make a Voltron art card, you know what I mean? So, because of that, I am going to have to throw them all into B. But again, it is based on, like, comparing them to all to each other, if that makes sense. They are still very nice cards. They're just not special, other than the fact they all combo together. Leafeon is next. Leafeon hanging out in a greenhouse, I assume, having a great time, just, like, you know, vibing with the plants. I dipping their tail in some water, I believe gathering some nutrients. I don't know the biology of a Leafeon. I'm going to have to assume that's the case. It's a nice card, but again, it's just like, you know, it's not too standout for me. I'm going to have to throw that into B. Now, this is going to be a controversial one, because Entei, I really love this card. It's got some weird things going on with its feet. The toes look a bit strange, but I just love the idea of Entei getting really hype about a volcano going off. That's all this dude's doing, right? He's like, oh my god, a volcano! We are pogging! He's having such a good time by the volcano. I think we're going to have to give Entei an A tier. It's very good. It's very good. Speaking of unique art styles, Simicia V-Star. It's so good. I can't decide whether I say so good. I can't decide whether I, like, hate it or love it, but because it's so unique and special, I love the pattern of, like, the tiled pansias behind it as well. I'm going to have to give that an S tier. It's so good. It's ridiculous, but so good. Next up is Suicune. Oh, yeah, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Again, pretty chill card. I'm loving the vibes. I feel like if I'd have seen the holo pattern, I could definitely rank this a little bit higher. But for now, it just looks like a really nice card. But again, for me, not doing anything too special, so we're going to have to throw that into B tier. A card that everyone will be very familiar with by the time rotation happens, Luminion. A card I've not paid too much attention to. It's very... I like how they framed it with, like, the coral and all that going on. You got a couple of Chinchou and a Lantern in there as well. It's a really nice card. Quite unique art style as well. I don't think I've seen anything by this person before. Who is it? Jerky. I don't think I've ever heard of them. But it's a really nice card. I'm going to put that into A tier. Glaceon is next, and yeah, it's a nice card. Sometimes some of these cards, I just go, it's a nice card. I don't really have too much else to say about it. I think as long as you can call it nice, it goes into B tier. It's good, you know, it's fine. It's lovely. Next is Raikou, and I love the sense of speed that you get off seeing this Raikou running. It's so good. I love the stance as well of like galloping like it must be a cheetah, I guess, or you know, any big cat. There's a bit of a debate at the moment going on about whether the legendary dogs are actually cats and stuff like that, but we're not getting into that. Love this card, very nice. We're gonna give that an A. Zeraora V-Star, depending on, you know, if you're a normal person or not and can actually pronounce it, Zeraora. I'd like to see that. Just, the VMAX is obviously good because it fills up the whole screen. I love the fact you've got Pachirisu, you've got Togedemaru, you've got Emolga, just all hanging out on this giant Zeraora. And I bet the Zeraora's fine with it. Even though it's a giant fighting cat thing, it's fine with these rodents hanging out because they're all Electro Boys, and that's great. I'm going to give that an A tier. I think that's well deserved there. Speaking of Zeraora, we've also got Zeraora V-Star. I'm still not 100% on what's going on here. There's like a whole sound system behind them, but like Zeraora's not exactly known for musical performances. You know, not like Galarian Obstagoon or a Rillaboom or something like that. It's just, it's an interesting card. I'm not really sure, not sure how I feel about it though. It's probably got to go into B tier, I assume. Like, I don't know the rules or something. Next up, we got Mewtwo V-Star, continuation of the Charizard vs Mewtwo card series, of which there are 2. Beautiful card, absolutely love this. Always a big fan of Charizard getting his ass kicked. Very nice card, got no complaints about it. I love the fact the Mewtwo's about basically going Kame, like Dragon Ball Z style. We love it. A tier. Deoxys VMAX is a cool little card. I love the Orbeetle VMAX also in the background. Orbeetle VMAX when it Gigantamaxes turns into a giant UFO. It's such a cool card. I like this a lot. I'm not a big Deoxys fan, but I'm a Gigantamax Orbeetle fan. So I think that gets it into A tier. But next up is Deoxys V-Star. I think this suffers from a bit of a complaint that I've had about other cards. There's a lot going on here. I do appreciate the whole like shooting star like comet thing that Deoxys is going on. But other than that, there's nothing too special about this card personally for me. So we're going to throw that into C tier. Hatterene VMAX is next. This, I think, is the same artist. I might be wrong. I'm sure I will be. That did the Italian VMAX card, I think. It's an alright card. It's fine. For me, there's not really a lot going on that I like about this card. I don't think it's particularly special. It's just like a nice art style, but the card itself, I'm probably going to throw that into D, to be honest. It's not a card that captures my imagination. Next up is Zacian V. Again, this is another Celebrations reprint. I like this card, but I couldn't tell you why. I think it's because the Zacian really stands out well on the background. But yeah, it's fine. I don't think it's too special, honestly. It's just a nice card. I'm going to put that into B. Mew VMAX players, Runaway Scared. It's Drapion V. I think I've talked about this card, or this artist before. The Polymer, is it? The Polymer or Clay Models cards. I'm not too big a fan of. I do like this one, though, where it's full, like, imagery, and, you know, it's on the desert, I guess. It looks a bit Colorado-y to me. Yeah, it's a nice enough card. It's just, again, nothing too special for me personally. I'm going to throw that into B. Darkrai. Now, this card conjures so many questions. Where is Darkrai? What is that, like, box light door thing behind him? Why is he just meditating? I would be so confused about where I am. Is this water? Is this a beach? What is happening? So many questions, but it looks amazing. It's one of my favorite cards of the set. I think we're going to have to throw you into S. Next up, we've got Hisuian Samurott V. Nice art style. Nothing too special about the card itself, though. It's just very nice. I think we can just throw that into B. But Hisuian Samurott. Talking about cards that give you Galarian Moltres V Alt Art vibes. This card is so good. I like to think that Snowrun has just like personally insulted this Samurot's like family member. Like, oh, you seen this Samurot's mom? Oh, a bit of a dog. And Samurot's just appeared behind. Nothing personnel kid about to slice him and dice him. It's a beautiful card. We're gonna throw that into S tier. S tier all day. Hooper V. Very like genie Aladdin-y vibes here going on for some reason. That's what I'm seeing a bit of. It's very strange. I like it a lot, but it's just very, yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It's a nice art style. I think it belongs in A. I think it belongs in A. It's quite nice. It's a nice card. Next up is Zamazenta V, and I really don't like this card. The color palette they've used is just like really in your face and just like it's yelling at you. It's like, hey, look at me, don't look at the Zamazenta. It's not nice at all. For me. Listen, your mileage may vary. I don't like it. I think it's a bit, yeah, too much. Regigigas V-Star, this feels like a pencil drawing. So it's, you know, it's unique, it's special. I don't fully understand what's going on. Why is Regigigas pulling a landmass like it's nothing? My man is the strongest person known to live. But it's not a card that I particularly find that interesting. So I'm going to throw it into C. Now on to Hisuian Zoroark V-Star. It's another difficult one because of the swirls and stuff like that. You kind of you struggle a little bit to spot the Zoroark V-Star within. The colours do help, but I don't necessarily like this card and the way it's been done. I think it's going to have to be a C, to be honest. It's not the best. Okay, again, this is another difficult one to rank because it's 4 of the same art styles. I just don't know how I feel about it. We are going to skip the trainers because I've had my opinions about trainers before, and I'm kind of like, you know, they're fine. It feels weird comparing them to like previous and stuff like that. I don't know what it is about trainers. I always put them into B, so they're not been special. Anyway, the Palkia V-Star, the Dialga V-Star, Giratina V-Star, and Arceus V-Star are all the same art style, just in different ways. Supposedly, you can put them together and make them look special. I'm going to say this much, and people who've watched these videos before are going to think I've got some kind of weird agenda going on. I like the Palkia. I like the Dialga. I like the Arceus. I'm not a huge fan of the Giratina. Again, it's quite hard to see what's really going on in the card with the way it's been done. I don't particularly think the cards themselves are that good. They're just carrying a lot of prestige because they're gold. So for that reason, I'm going to actually put Arceus, Dialga, and Palkia into B tier, and then Giratina into C. I know they're all the same art style, but I just find Giratina a bit harder to see, if that makes sense. Listen, I'm not going to make anyone happy with these lists. People are already in the comments going, how dare you, this is my favourite card, I think it's... Listen, I'll insult any card. I share my opinions. You guys can do with that as you will. Alright, ladles and jelly spoons, that is the tier list for Galarian Gallery. In D, we have Electivire, Hatterene VMAX, and Zamazenta V. C, we have Oricorio, Keldeo, Deoxys V, I believe it is, Diancie, Deoxys V-Star, Regigigas V-Star, Hisuian Zoroark V-Star, and Giratina V-Star. In B, we have Hisuian Voltorb, Magmortar, Lapras, Lunatone, Comfey, Solrock, Absol, Magnezone, Latias, Hisuian Goodra, Riolu, Swablu, Duskull, Bidoof, Pikachu, Turtwig, Paras, Poochyena, Mareep, Leafeon V-Star, Suicune V, Glaceon V-Star. Nearly got these all in one go then, that was impressive. Zeraora V-Star, Zacian V, Drapion V, Hisuian Samurott V, Palkia V, Dialga V, and Arceus V stars. A, we have Kricketune, Manaphy, Toxtricity, Mew, Dunsparce, Miltank, Entei, Luminion, Raikou, Zeraora VMAX, Mewtwo V-Star, Deoxys VMAX, and Hooper V. And in S, we have Thievul, Altaria, Ditto, Bibarel, Simisear V-Star, Darkrai V-Star, and Hisuian Samurott V-Star. If you want to make your own version of this, I will put the link in the description below. It was made by @Whimsicast on Twitter, so thank you very much for doing that, my guy. Usually I do this myself, but someone else has already done it for me, so that was handy. I'm sure we'll do more of these lists in the coming months as well, with Scarlet and Violet on the horizon. I'll try and get those out a little bit more timely, because I'm sure this video is going to be lost in the shuffle now that it's coming out so late. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, I've been Jester. All my links are in the description below. If you want to check out Pokemon TCG content on Twitch, I'm live on twitch.tv/Jestertainment with TCG live on Mondays and Wednesdays. But until the next one, guys, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you in the next one. See ya. And boop.